In the name of Amen the Supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true Lord, in Amen we trust as the Republic of Mentellect, the real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the Mentellians. Menzeka Aminun to all of my Mentellian brothers and sisters out here, registered members of the Republic of Mentellect, and to all future Mentellians who have yet to find their way home to the Republic of Mentellect, which is Amen's community. I send greetings out to you, and I send peace out to you in our Mentellian language by saying to you, Menzeka Aminun. Good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ, and this is Mentellect Radio, and tonight we're going to be discussing men. Are men projectors of women in the fourth dimension? The answer to that is yes. Men are projectors to women in the fourth dimension. Why do I say that? Because when women are in proper alignment as the order to the man's law, that the law that the man is setting down by natural design, then he projects her into the fourth dimension. He projects her into the fourth dimension. She cannot go into the fourth dimension without connection to a man in alignment with law and order. That's just the way it is. Some people might say that and say, oh, that's kind of sexist to say that. It ain't got nothing to do with sex. It has everything to do with order. It has everything to do with order and structure. Order and structure dictates the alignment into the fourth dimension. It is a structure. So a woman better be sure that she's following a man properly who has the acknowledgement and the alignment with law. Because again, law opens the door to the fourth dimension. We have to follow a law. And thus the order comes in alignment with that. If the men are in alignment with the law, being the protectors, being the leaders, being the ones who are establishing things, as we go forward into the fourth dimension, then the women come right along with us is the order, the structure. So if the woman tries to enter into the fourth dimension without being in alignment with a man, it's not going to happen because she's out of alignment. She cannot have order without law. And women don't bring law. Women bring order. They bring structure. That's just how it is. Right? Everyone has their role. Everyone has their place in alignment to this upper dimension, into this upper dimensional state. Even in the lower dimensions, in the three-dimensional world. Because as above, so below. Who are the ones that are keeping all the laws in this society? Let's keep it real. Who's keeping all the laws in this society? It's men. It's not women, it's men. Men keep all the law in this society. Women do more of the orderly things. Women tend to do more of the organizing, right? The clerical, the structural things, you know, that makes things run. I mean, you might have women who are enforcing the law and things like that, but really that's off. That's off. No woman is supposed to be enforcing the law. No woman is supposed to be police officers and things like that. That's not supposed to happen. All men are supposed to be police officers, military and things like that. The law enforcement. And the women do all the clerical stuff, all the organizing and structuring, all the structuring of things, right? That's how that's supposed to go. They're supposed to be out of harm's way. Women don't do construction because even a form of construction is law because it's a building law or building codes that are being set up. You're not supposed to see no women doing no construction. That's men's job. Men do the heavy lifting and building of societies. And the women, they help to structure it once it's done. They do, what's the term for it? Clerical, it's not clerical, but I forget what it's called. Not clerical, but I forget, what's it called? Administrative work. Women are more good at the administrative part, right? They keep things running smoothly. They make sure things are organized, right? That's the reality. Now, like I said, you know, things are out of alignment in this society because, again, they have women being law enforcement and things like that, and it's not in its right order. That's not in the right order. Women are not supposed to be keeping any laws. That's the job of the men. But it just goes to show you the society's out of order, right? As above, so below. As above, so below. This was set by Amen. This was set by the Amen beings way before the humans were brought into creation. You see? This was set in alignment way before the humans were brought into existence. So there has to be the men going through the door first, the men protecting the women and the children, because as the men goes to the door protecting the women and the children, he's setting the law, right? How many women want to be the first one through the door protecting the husband and the children? Because you got all these women talking about, oh, a woman could do what a man could do. How many women, how are you going to look at a man if you the first one going through a door with a gun in your hand to protect the family? You don't look at him like he crazy. You don't look at him like he's soft. You're going to expect him to be the one to get up if somebody trying to break in the house and break the law of the house. Because if somebody tries to break into the house, you looking for that man to get up and get the gun and protect the house. You ain't going to go and do it unless there's no man there and you ain't got no other choice. But reality, naturally, natural law, the man going to get up and get that pistol and go and see who coming in the door, because that person who's intruding in the intruder who's coming into the house, he's breaking the law by entering your house. So you have to have the man who is the law enforcement to enforce that and keep whoever's coming in out. That's his job. That's his job, to shoot whoever the hell's coming through that door. Kill whoever's coming through that door to protect you and his children. And himself, protect that house. That's his job. And then the woman's job is to call an ambulance or the police to come get his ass. Right? After your husband done put a cap in his ass for trying to break in, it's your job to get on the phone and call 911 after this guy's been laid down. You see? That's natural law. That is the natural law and order. That represents her calling the police or 911, pick this dude up. That's like administrative work. She's doing administrative work, so that comes by nature. You see? When a man is building a house, right, again, that's building codes and whatnot. When everything's being structured, that's a form of law, right? There's a reason why you don't see women, you can't show me any real standing structure that women built. Why is that? You might have women on construction sites nowadays who might do like some welding or some things like that, or, might do some little bit of carpentry and stuff like that. But in the mass numbers, you see men doing that kind of work. Why is that? Because that's dealing with law. That's heavy law. When you building something, that's, building codes are required, right? And building codes is another way of saying building laws. Because those laws have to be met. They have to be set. The tracking on the building, the way it's laid out, has to be set a certain way, right? Heavy lifting is involved in that women just can't do. Women are not built for heavy lifting. There's a reason for that. But again, in this society, they tell a woman that she can do everything, and thus she usurps the authority of the man. And thus, she throws her own self out of alignment with her own place. She throws herself out of alignment because there's power in the place of structure and order. There's power there, right? For a woman to be able to run the household, run the family, because that's virtually what she does when she's at home and she's structuring and organizing the children, making sure they're dressed and cleaned and going to school, whatever they got to do, making sure the food is cooked and things like that, things is done around the house. That's basically running the whole house. The man brings back the money, right? He brings back the money, and he contributes to the house. A woman is not really supposed to be going out working. She's not. She's supposed to be, if anything, she's supposed to be working in the family business. That's the only time a woman is supposed to be working. A man is supposed to run the family business. The woman is supposed to do the structure, the organizing or the administrative work in the family business. That's how that works. All right? And the police department, the men go out and arrest the people and deal with the guys on the street, got the guns. The women are supposed to be the ones that, booking the people in and, doing the files and stuff like that. She can still be a police woman, but she's supposed to be the administrative part of it. She ain't supposed to be on the street with no damn gun. That's off. That's off. But like I said, the society's off. So it works the same way in the projection of women in the fourth dimension. It works the same way. The man or the woman has to be in alignment with the man, projecting, being the image of the man, right? Because I said the woman has to be the image of the man, right? I said this before. The woman is the image of her father. All women who are in alignment in their right state of mind are projections of their father, not their mother. They're projections of their father. Every woman who is in her right state of mind is supposed to be a projection of her father. That's why they make reference to a girl being daddy's little girl. Daddy's little girl. Right? Because she's supposed to be the projection of her father. when you are raised by your mother, and some of you tend to be raised by your mother, this is where all your emotional instability comes from. Because if she was raised with no father, that starts the whole trend of emotional instability amongst females. That's what breeds females. Females are bred when other females are raising them. Women are bred when men, or they have their father in their life, or they have a man who is like a father in their life. It could be a husband that they're going to have. That's why I said, well, a lot of times with younger women, they need older men who could be as fathers to them, especially if they didn't have their father in their life. They need older men so that that man can be the raising that woman, be the reflection of what her father was not in her life. A strong man is what will bring out a strong woman. You see? If you got a weak man or a male, that will make the woman weak. That's why you see a lot of these females out here, they got babies from this one and that one because they were laying down with a bunch of beta males, a bunch of weak males who wasn't being men, who wasn't being the law. Because if they were being the law, they would have took hold of the situation and made sure that if they impregnated that woman, that he's going to take care of her and that child and making sure that that's his woman and they're going to keep his family together. But you don't see that nowadays. You see these males out here, they care more about a pair of sneakers or some damn some clothes and whatnot than taking care of their women and their children. That's because they was raised by a female. 9 times out of 10, they wasn't raised by a man. That's what happens when you are the child of a female. That's what happens when you're the child of a female, not the child of a woman. Because the female is 9 times out of 10, she hasn't been raised by her father. She was raised by another female, her mother, who also probably wasn't raised by her father. And if she was raised by her father and she's still acting like this, then he wasn't no real man. He was a beta male. He was a beta male. Because the strongest impression a man makes, the first impression, the strongest impression that a man makes on a woman is her father. He makes the strongest impression. When her father is in her life, he makes the strongest impression on her. And that is the man who she looks to, or the man she's going to be looking for, some man like that to be her husband or the father of her children. She's going to be looking for that man to be with. Some man who can do more than she can. Not somebody who can do, not some man who can do the same level of work as a woman, or a woman can do more than a man. If a woman can do more than a man, then over time she ain't gonna need you. She's not gonna need you. You've been relegated to a boy in her mind. You've been relegated to a boy in her mind. If you can't do more than she can. If you can't take care of the things she needs to get taken care of, she might need money from you, she might need this from you, she might need that. You can't do that, then you relegated to a boy. A man is always supposed to be able to take care of a woman. Always be the one that projects her into the 4th dimension. He is the one that's going to lead the path into the 4th dimension because his mind is focused on the future. His mind is focused on the future, and thus he gets her thinking about the future because that's a strong connection that is formed between the two. He has to be focused heavily on the future. Like if you got some male who ain't focused on the future and he's laying with you and he's not producing anything, then you start to wonder, well, damn, why I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just like living my day to day. That's why a lot of these females out here are lost. They don't think about the future because they was with so many males who wasn't thinking about the future. So they tend not to think about the future. That right there goes to show you. Because again, in order to be on that level and thinking into the 4th dimension, being projected that way, the man has to first and foremost be thinking about the future and the bigger picture and his place within the future. And then he starts to see that woman that way, and she starts to think the same way. But if you don't have that from the gate, you can forget it. You can forget that. The projection, the focus into the 4th dimension is a future vision. And that man has to see you in that vision. He has to see you there, and you have to see yourself with that man. You have to see yourself with him, and he has to see himself with you. And through that vision, that's what creates a bond. That creates a real bond. And once that bond is created, nobody can break that bond. But he has to show you that his thoughts are only of the future. His thoughts are bigger or way bigger than yours. A man's thoughts and his vision has to be way bigger than that of a woman's because he is the one that's going to guide her onto that path of extending her thoughts. He has to have a big, because again, that's what women are, by nature are attracted to men who can do more than they can. A woman don't want a man who she can do the same thing as he can do. She don't want no man like that. Not for real. She don't want no man who's equal to her. She wants a man who is above her, who can do more. Because if they're the same, if it's equality, then again, which I told you, there's no such thing as equality. But if they on the same level, then after a while, you're not needed. The man is not needed. If she can do more or just as much as you do, how many of you always see these women out here? I can get my own car, I can pay my own rent, I can do this, and they'll tell a man in the heartbeat he can't do a damn thing. He coming to her looking for help, so she already don't have no respect for him. She don't have no respect for him. A woman, by nature, always wants to be with a man who can do more than she can, has more money than she has, can do more than she can, has bigger dreams, bigger visions, and working toward them than she can. Why? Because she feeds off that man. He inspires her to want to do more, to want more for herself. That's part of the projection. You have to want more for yourself. You have to want more for yourself based off of the fact that that man wants more for himself. Now, if you were a man who don't want nothing for himself, you understand that you ain't got a man, you got a male. If he just out here and just whatever, and then you see your standard of living, your way of life, your way of thinking getting pulled down because he don't want nothing. He's satisfied with being a bum, a loser, just putting babies in you. Then guess what? You done threw your life down the toilet. You already done threw your life down the toilet. Because that's all he's satisfied with. He's satisfied with giving you the bare minimum of himself because he's not even into achieving and extending himself. He's not into that. A lot of these men are not into extending themselves or moving themselves onto a higher level. So how is he going to move you onto a higher level? Answer, he's not. He's not. He is not. All he can do for you is screw you. And when you get tired of that, hopefully you don't have any children out of that. When you get tired of that and you ready to move on, now you got to move on with baggage. He has further slowed you down from projecting yourself into the fourth dimension because now you're carrying three-dimensional baggage, which is a child from this person, from this deadbeat loser. You carrying a child. That becomes baggage. You always want to have children with somebody who is projecting bigger picture, higher or an extended future. That's who you want to have children with because then you know y'all going to both be on the same page in raising your children. So that's part of the projection right there. Your future, your children represent the projection, what you're raising. What y'all get together and make together, when y'all come together and physically and y'all make a child together and whatnot, what you know you're going to produce is a fourth dimensional child because y'all both thinking into the fourth dimension. Y'all thinking on a higher level. So you're going to put all that energy into that child. You're going to put all that energy into the child, and that is your ticket into the fourth dimension and into the upper dimension to go. That's your ticket, what you lay down and make. How you figure, I'm going to lay down with this guy, and, you know, he ain't thinking about no fourth dimension. He ain't thinking on that level, but I'm going to lay down and have a child with him. Then you ain't on that level then. If you lay down with this person who's not thinking on that level, then you really not on that level. You no different than he is. You following his lead, which is nowhere. You following his lead to nowhere. So how the hell you going to be projected into the fourth dimension? You're not. You're not. You are not. You have to be the order to a man's law. You have to be the order to a man's law. And a man has to be the law to your order. That's how it works. It's in alignment together. If that's not going to happen, then again, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time and your energy. Because, like I said, men are always looking for someone to like you ever heard that term, a man who's looking for a woman to help him build? Incorrect. No man should be looking for no woman to help him build anything. That's incorrect. You don't look for a woman to help you build. You're supposed to be able to build on your own. That's what attracts a woman to you, that you can do it by yourself. You see, you got to be a self-starter. A man should not be looking for a woman to help him build. She can help him structure and organize what he has already done or what he's already doing. She can help in that, but she can't help him build nothing from the ground up, because if that's the case, then like I said, you're not a real builder. A real man starts from the ground up. And he builds something from nothing. And he starts to project the image. He starts to lay down the law, the business law, and where he's going to go. He starts to lay down that path. And then when he comes across that woman, the woman is going to be blown away by what he's doing. She's going to be, wow, look at what he's accomplishing, what he's doing. And she's going to want to get with him. Because she can see herself growing with that man, growing in the image of that man, becoming stronger in the image of that man. She could see that. So already the projection is starting. And the children they're going to bring forward is going to extend the projection even further. You see? Then you planning children. You're planning to have children. You're not just having sex and then somebody slipped up and the condom didn't break or the condom broke or he forgot to pull out or whatever the case may be. You're just pregnant. See, again, things like that does not aid in your projection. You have to plan your children out. And that comes with thinking, focused people who are responsible, who know what they're doing. Those are the people who are worthy of that projection. Those are the people who are worthy of the projection. Those who just out here doing whatever and we just happen to have a baby and whatever the case may be. Nah, man. There's no projection there. That's why I said with a lot of young brothers, like I said, in your 20s and your things, you don't need to be getting with no women in your 20s. You brothers don't need to start thinking about being with no woman seriously till you in your 30s. A lot of you brothers out here, the only time you need, now if you with a woman already, that's different. But I'm saying if you are, you got children already, I'm not saying leave your family, but if you single and you out here, you need to wait till you get in your 30s, like 30, 31 years old or something, to get serious with a woman. Because by that time, you should have been unestablished yourself. And the type of woman you should be getting serious with is somebody 18, 19 years old when you're in your 30s. Or even older. You need to be with somebody young so you can show her things. So that you can guide her. You don't need to be with no woman when you in your 20s and she in her 20s and y'all both struggling together. No. No, absolutely not. You can't be no projection for her. You can't project anything for her. You can't project nothing for your damn self. You don't know what you want to do. How are you going to project something for her? That plan has to already be planned out already. The plan has to be laid out already. You see? But a lot of people, like I said, they don't want to see that because they got egos. People got egos. They want to feel like they're ready when you just ain't ready. You know? Readiness happens when you don't experience things and you don't went through things and you don't lost things and you don't gain things in your life. Then you're ready for that projection. You have an understanding of what it takes to achieve what you got to achieve in this world. You have an understanding of that. You already acquired that mission and you are moving forward in that mission. You have acquired that. You have been given the wisdom. Like I could seriously say, I wasn't, fully thinking as a man until I hit 30, until I hit like 32, 33 years old. I wasn't fully thinking like a man. And I wasn't a full-on man until I hit my 40s, until I hit 40. That's when you get to look back on the things you did in your life and realize the mistakes you made and whatnot and don't go back in that direction. See, because sometimes men got to experience things and make mistakes in order for you not to go back in that direction again. You got to know how to approach women the next time around when it comes time for you to have that woman. When you are, fortunate enough to get that woman in your life and you are looking to project a future with her, you have to know the mistakes you made in the beginning, the things that you don't want to do again. You have to experience these things. These are life experiences. These are life lessons. And a lot of men just don't have the patience enough to go through that. You see? So you might be out here messing up some girl's life. You might end up getting her pregnant and whatnot. Then, I don't really want to be with you and this, that, and the third. See, that's what happens with a lot of these guys. I get with the girl and she might be into them and he end up getting her pregnant. I don't really want to be with you, but I'm going to be with you anyway because you had a baby. That's the terrible reason to be with somebody. That's not going to be a projection. That child is not going to be part of that projection, man. Because again, how that child was made didn't come from the mental. That child didn't come from the mental. 9 times out of 10 just came from the testicles. And when I say it come from the testicles, meaning that it didn't receive that spark, the child didn't receive that spark to travel, sperm to travel up the spinal column and into the medulla oblongata, receive that charge and go right back down and out. That's a child that's thought out. That's a special breed right there. As opposed to these lust babies, these lust seeds out here that just come straight from the man's testicles. Because he just busting a nut. That's all. That's it. And, you pregnant? All right. You see? And that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't plan for children and things like that. You don't plan for your children to be better or greater. You don't plan for that. You don't plan for that. You're not planning for the projection of your woman and your family in the future. You're not planning for that because, again, you come through your children. You will be coming forward through your children. So if you're coming forward through your children and your children don't even have a clue of what they're here for, how is that going to happen? They don't know what they're here for. They don't know why they were made. They don't know what's expected of them because there was nothing expected of you. It was nothing. You didn't expect nothing of that man. You didn't expect them to extend you. All you expected them to do was just basically settle for you, pay some bills, sex here and there and blah, blah, blah. And that's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing that will be extendable to you. So a woman and a man have to be in alignment together for that projection to take place, especially an older man. An older man, you should already know what you're going to do in your life. You should already got a plan already how you're going to proceed in your life. If a man is in his 40s and he's still acting like he don't know, then you know what? He ain't going to never know. He's the guy that got to just piss or get off the pot, man. If he in his 40s, he don't know what he want to do, he ain't got no real direction in his life, then, leave that person alone. If he's still talking about working a regular job and he ain't got no plan to get off his job and do some kind of business or become part of something bigger, then you messing with the wrong person. You messing with the wrong person. Because all that sitting around and waiting on somebody to give you a job or whatnot, good luck with that. That's not happening. That's why I said we as a people, we got to build our own enterprise and our own things and everything, because that's part of the projection as well. The future things that we lay out for ourselves, business-wise and everything, and what we teach our children, that's part of our projection. And running the business, that's part of our projection. If that's not your mindset, then you're wasting your time. If that's not your mindset, then you are wasting your talents, your ability. You're wasting everything. You're wasting that woman's life. She's not going to project with you. Because, again, women, their projection is held back because they've chosen men who are not going to project. They're not going to project into the fourth dimension. They've chosen rejects. But it's always a little too late before a woman finds out that she's laying with a reject. Somebody who has no vision, no plan, no idea what they're here for, what they're going to do in the next moment. Those people, like I said, they're useless. They're useless. Those are the useless ones. And you cannot allow people to make you useless like them. You cannot allow people to hold up your projection. You cannot allow people to keep you from entering that fourth dimensional door, because that's what people in the 3 dimension and even the lower 2 dimension will do. That's what they'll do. Like you might have somebody here in the Republic of Mental Life, and it might be a sister in here, but she might have an old man. Her husband might not be with it. So you already know you working against yourself by being with him. Being with some nigga who's not going to be in this community, like I said, you in the community, that's a waste of time. Eventually you're going to end up having to choose the community or choose him. You either going to choose the community or choose him, because he ain't going to be what you about. He's always going to try to undermine it. And Lord help you if you have a baby from him. Having a baby with a black person and you bright, or you trying to be bright, that's going to be a struggle within itself. He wants to pull the child down to his level, which is low. He wants your child to be black like him or black like her. You see, that's why I said I was always glad I didn't have no children with no black people. I'm glad I didn't. I could have had a whole bunch of children running around here. And I said I'm glad I didn't have any children with any black people, because my seed was being saved up for this time. It was being saved up for this time to meet women within this community, not to have women on the outside, because there's women on the outside, like I said, how they want to, live, what they want to be a part of is just mind-boggling. It's no structure, it's no order, definitely ain't no projection to it. There's no future plan, no future projection to it. They're thoroughly caught up in this world, and then you get with these people, and next thing you know, you find yourself caught up in this world. You find yourself talking about nonsense and whatnot. You're no longer thinking about the fourth dimension. You're not thinking about the future. It's very easy to get caught in that mindset, in that mentality. Trust me, I know. But I'm glad that I didn't do what I was going to do here in this society. I'm glad I didn't do that. You know? When people say something is a blessing, that is truly a blessing. Truly so much so. Because people always ask me, oh, why you ain't got no children yet? Why you ain't got no kids yet? I said, I ain't want none. They can't believe, oh, what's wrong with you? Why? I didn't want none. To have children who are not being projected anywhere, who are not planned, who are not going anywhere, you ain't got no plan for them. They just out here in the world. It's like you might well not have had no children. You know your children ain't going to be worth a damn. You pretty much might as well not have had any children. What's the sense in getting these babies and you ain't going to do nothing with them? You're not going to try and develop them, because by you developing your children, you're developing your future bloodline, your future seeds, your future progeny by developing them, by making sure they become the best they can be. And if you don't have a partner that's on board with that, because again, you got these niggas who you get with male or female, they'll try to sabotage you making your children better. They'll try and sabotage that. They'll have something, now, why you trying to do that with them? Why do you want them to be better? Why? You got niggas like this. They want to sabotage your children. They want to sabotage the child because they can't come up on that level mentally, so they don't want the child to come up on that level. You know, that's why I said no bright and black allowed. We don't do black and bright merges. We don't merge with black people because they're the most limited people on the planet. We don't do no black and bright merges. You got black people still in your life, you need to leave them alone because they're here for nothing but foolishness and stupidity. That's it. So if you got those kind of people in your life, you need to go ahead and just separate from them immediately, ASAP. You know, they just need to go ahead and separate from them people, because again, those people will keep you from projecting into the fourth dimension. Like I said, the strong bond of law and order has to be there amongst the man and the woman as the projection takes place. That strong bond of union, that strong bond of merger has to be there. Even if you may not have somebody at the time, you older sisters and whatnot, like I said, if you've made yourself part of that order, then you will come into that natural order going forward into the fourth dimension. You will be brought into alignment with a man who is in a lawful mindset. If you have made yourself that woman of order, like you have made yourself part of this administration to help in bringing things along and, and organizing and structuring things, you are already acting as the law. So therefore, some man who is the order will come into your life. Someone who will be part of this community. You will be merged with a man who is going to be the law to your order. Because whenever you in your right mindset, when you in your right mindset and your right place of alignment, you're going to be brought into alignment with the person you're supposed to be with. When you in your right state of mind. But when you're not in your right state of mind, you're going to get just what you've been getting, black people. Lost black people. Because you lost. All you're going to get is a bunch of lost black people that's going to come into your life to make a bunch of kids, not children, but a bunch of kids with. That's all you're going to get. A bunch of empty vessels that's laying on top of you, ejaculating into you. A bunch of children that's coming from the damn from their damn nutsack and not from their damn from the highest space, from their mind, coming in from that spinal column, but just coming from the damn testicles. You're gonna get a bunch of low grade babies. That's what happens when you lay with low grade men. Or low-grade males, you get a bunch of low-grade babies. When you lay with low-grade females, you're going to get a bunch of low-grade babies. And if the babies are not low-grade, these blacks are going to make sure they make the child low-grade. They're going to make sure to work against you. Why you teaching them that? Why they got to be about that? Why you doing that? Well, why they need that for? You're always going to hear that. Even if you're doing something that's, worthwhile, something that's on point, they're going to always have a problem with it. Because they want your children to be niggas like them. They want your child to be niggas like them. And even if they might not even be that interested in the child's life, but they'll do it just out of spite for you, because they don't want to see the child evolve or grow. They'll do it out of spite to try to mess the child up. Well, what you doing? What you doing? Well, why are you trying to make it? Why are you trying to get them to be a doctor? They shouldn't be a doctor. That's too hard. They'll do stupid stuff like that. Why don't you go and be a secretary? Why don't you go and be a massage therapist or some nonsense? Or go get a degree in psychology or something. Something easy. Go be a clerical worker or something. Go get into hotel management. Some nonsense. You know how these niggas love to take some nonsense and they're gonna sit up here and put themselves in debt, then get out of school and do some nonsense. That's the mentality. And these are the people who you cannot produce bright seeds with, man. You can't produce no bright seeds with these type of people. All you're gonna do is produce a bunch of dead black children. That's why these children are being sacrificed in the street, because they're dead seeds, man. See, they already been judged. They already been judged. You see these children getting snatched off the street, these black females, these little males getting shot up and gang bang and getting shot up and whatnot. Almond ain't looking out for them people, man. Almond is not looking over them people, man. They already the black seed. They destroyed, man. They was destroyed from birth, man. Ever since their mother and father laid down, they was destroyed, man. They already destroyed. So you giving birth to dead children, man. You ain't giving birth to nothing. Because you look at that child and be like, you be like, damn, are they going to make it 17 or 18 years old? They probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Because, again, that's a judgment of Amen. That's a judgment of the ascendants. They decide who's going to live and who's going to die. Who's going to be necessary to them in the future and who's not. So you might you get with some dead black male out here, or white one, or whatever. You get with one of these humans out here, and like I said, you doing it all in vain. Because you still worrying about, I want to do it because I want to get with them. It ain't about what you want. Yeah, it's nice that you might like that person, but ultimately you got to keep in mind, I'm breeding with this person because it's the smart thing to do. It's the intelligent thing to do. We breed by intelligence. We don't breed by just no regular sexual desires. No, we don't breed like that. We breed by intelligence. We breed by intelligence, unlike black people. Black people breed by, who look good, he look good. No, we don't do that. Not saying you want somebody who's not nice looking, but I'm saying that's not the end all be all. We breed by intelligence, because what that does is it guarantees you a stronger seed. It guarantees you a stronger and effective seed in the future world to come. See? That guarantees that. But if you were some man and he can't barely make it himself, what kind of chance you think you're going to have for the child? He can't teach your children a damn thing, so what the hell you think you're going to teach your child? You see? That tells you everything. And you have to be honest with yourself, because again, this is about life, literally about life and death. Death in the third dimension and life in the fourth. This is literally about life and death. And if you're not taking it seriously like that, like it's about life and death, then guess what? Your seed is going to be dead. Your seed will die in the third dimension. Your seed will die in the third dimension. I remember this story about this lady who was in the projects in Chicago, and she had like 8 children. You know, all 8 of her children died in the projects from gang violence. She had like a bunch of sons and stuff like that. They all dead and whatnot. She was the only one left living. She decided to come up from down south or wherever she was to come to Chicago, live in the damn projects and whatnot. To guess her trying to find a better life or whatever. I don't know how she thought she was going to find a better life in the damn projects. But she come up from like, I forget, somewhere down south to Chicago. And, her kids get involved in the street stuff. So next thing you know, they getting picked off one by one. Gang bangs and shootouts and stuff like that. Little guys joining gangs, the girls being gangster boos or whatever the hell they call themselves. And our children getting picked off one by one. Just dying. And she was the only one left alive. All her children, the 8 of them, all dead from gang violence. Armin allowed that to happen because she shouldn't have been stupid enough to be living there. She shouldn't have been stupid enough to be living there around these people, around these savages. Because we're going to call them just what they were, a bunch of savages and animals. Because most of these so-called black people, these niggas are animals and savages. They'll be happy that their neighborhood is bad. Yeah, I come from the worst hood, my nigga. My projects stay lit, my nigga. We stay shooting it up out there. Oh, you proud of that? You proud that people acting like savages where you live? That's the mindset of black people. And this is who you breeding with. Oh, yeah, I remember like these niggas talking about, yeah, back in the day, we used to go to this club called The Tunnel. Yeah, and the Tunnel stayed lit. Niggas used to be in there with their guns and with their razor blades and snatching bags and whatnot. And this nigga was saying it like that was something to be proud of. I'm like, nigga, who raised you? Who raised you? Obviously, some male and some female. Not no real man. No real man would raise anything to talk like that. No real woman. That didn't come from no real woman. That come from two animals who was just having sex, who was just screwing. To a male and a female, two animals. Two black animals screwing and having sex, because nobody in their right mind would say anything like that. You glorifying going to a place where people acting like a bunch of animals and savages. And you got a lot of these young black males out here and black females out here who like that, because of the choices their parents made. And those will be the same ones in the club that night. The club gets shot up and they dead somewhere. Then your son, your daughter, they dead in the damn club somewhere. You see? I say good riddance, but you know, it is what it is. So these people have been judged. So know the people who have been judged and have been slated for judgment, and know those who are slated to receive this higher transmission of reception. You have to pick those type of men and women to be with. Those who are slated to receive that higher transmission, those who are on that next level versus those who are not. You got to be honest with yourself. And a lot of times you don't want to be honest with yourself, because you might end up liking some guy and whatnot. That maybe I could make it work out because he cute, he look like this, he look like that, and he cute. Nah, ain't no working that out. That's no working that out. Can't be a so-called alpha man and claim to be an alpha man and beat on your chest, but the reality of it is you a beta male. You a beta male. Beating on your chest means nothing today. Acting hard and tough means nothing. You cannot lead a woman into the future trying to act like what you think a man is. You can't lead a woman like that, because she's going to be looking to you. A woman will know, a real woman who's seeking womanhood will know real fast if she has a man that she's dealing with or not. She'll know really fast, just by your behavior, just by your demeanor. She'll know very fast, because one of the telltale signs is when a man, is carrying himself weak. He's carrying himself, like a weakling, like he doesn't, like he's not comfortable in his own skin, like he's, just cowardly. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, he's not confident or sure of himself. He doesn't project himself a certain way, because again, how a man projects himself is a part of the projection. How a man projects himself and how a woman projects themselves is part of the future projection. How you come forward, how you make your presence known. How you step to people, how you exert your authority when necessary, how to fall back when necessary. To know these things, because again, to be able to know these things is to put you in alignment to higher plates, to higher sources and higher states of being. Knowing how to move in this three-dimensional realm, knowing how to project yourself within this three-dimensional realm, puts you in alignment for the fourth dimension. In other words, if you out here acting like a jackass, and you don't know how to control yourself, or you out here doing this, that, and the third, you don't know how to move, like I said, you already been judged and blocked from the fourth dimension. You don't know how to you don't know how to project yourself. You don't know how to project yourself. You don't know how to conduct yourself. You and your woman. So that tells you something, that you're not worthy of that fourth dimensional transmission. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. You can only imagine the reality of that woman when she has opened herself up to the reception, the full-on reception of you. That's when she's showing you that she trusts you. You see, when I say in Amen we trust, that means in Amen we trust both men and women who are of Amen. And Amen we trust means we trust each other, those who are of Amen. This ain't no spooky thing. This is a family thing. This is a collective thing. This is a projective thing. And Amen we trust simply means we trust in those who are of Amen. Our own kind. Not nobody on the outside looking in. We don't do that. This projection is too precious and too pure, too sacred to be traded off with black people. If you hear this reception, you know you are of Amen, then you must find one who is of Amen as well. Or else you forfeit in everything for nothing. You forfeit everything for nothing. We're here to fulfill prophecy. And in order to fulfill prophecy, we have to be right mentally. Without being right mentally, there is no vision of prophecy. These are things in which you have to be in alignment with. And alignment too. See, our minds have to be right and in its logical place. That's not going to be the case, then what are we doing this for? What is the point of this? We living like animals. I'm not going to live like an animal, and neither should you, the woman. You should want to live like the men and women you came here to be, the our men and the our women you came here to be, regardless of what everybody else is talking about, because they don't matter. Think on that. We'll be right back. When people take it seriously that we moving together collectively as one body, one mind, and one soul into the fourth dimension through our children, then you'd be very careful, you know. Then you'd be very careful to watch who you mate with, who you lay with, who you follow. You be very careful of that when you know that that's on the line, your entrance into the fourth dimension. Because again, people are out here trying to constantly pull you down into that lower level. You understand? I know there's just as you got bright workers out here, you got bright workers out here who are trying to bring us forward, who are trying to bring you forward. You got bright workers out here. You got those who are dark workers trying to keep you in darkness. You know, you got a lot of dark workers out here, just like you got bright workers. You even got the light workers out here. The light workers are the ones who try to pull you into these false things of illumination, like these, you know, like these spiritual things. That's your light workers, right? They go hand in hand with the dark workers. They go hand in hand with the dark workers. They want to pull you in right with them. You know, they want to keep you going back and forth between the light and the dark, through the so-called spiritual to the demonic. They want to pull you back and forth between the spiritual and demonic, but the spiritual entities here over time become the demons in this atmosphere. So when you hear these people talking about these spiritual entities and the Great Mother and all this other nonsense, like a lot of these ex-members talking about, those are dark workers, man. Those are your dark workers. All those ex-members that left up out of here, those represent the dark workers. They was never about the bright. They was never about the brightness. Because everything they talk about is dark. It's never nothing that's about extending. They never have anything. If you notice, when they slander and they say things, they never have nothing extending to add on. It's just trying to tear down something. Tear me down, tear down the Republic, and whatnot. It's always about something darkness, something ignorant, something in darkness. Nothing to extend or move forward. It's always about something leaving something in desolation, in darkness. That's what these people are about. See, so you got to be mindful of them. We got a lot of the dark workers out here who are trying to shield out the bright. And you run into these people every day. They'll be the ones who be like, they'll listen to mental, like, what you listening to that for? He's just trying to get some money out you. What you listening to that for? And you know it's about something way more than that. What you listening to him for? You know, they can't even listen to it. What you listening to him for? You know, he just trying, it ain't nothing but another scam and another hustle trying to get some money about you. That's the only thing that's on their mind. Those are the ones who are the dark workers. Because they have nothing to offer. Because it's one thing for you to say that and then have something better to offer. They ain't got nothing to offer. So those are the dark workers. They want you to continue to move in darkness to nowhere. Basically following the light of the beast. You see? And these are the type of people you end up laying down with and mixing your seed with, a bunch of dark workers. People who working in darkness. Black people. People who work in a state of deadness. You know, these are people who you end up laying with, mixing your seed with and things like that, having children with. And this is what destroys your bloodline. This is what keeps you out of that fourth dimensional state. This is what slows down your reception and your transmission. Because if you laying with these people, having children with these people, you eating with these people, you staying in the same domicile, sharing living quarters with these people are going to pull you down. They're going to sever your transmission into the fourth dimension. And they've already worked on destroying your children. Like I said, you got these people who are dark workers, man. They're not bright workers. They're dark workers. And they always going to bow down to the light, because the light is false. The light of this world, the Illuminati and all this stuff they offer in their education, their philosophy, the things that they trying to push on you to make you think that this is the highest, that's all false, man. That's false. That's all artificial light that they giving to you and whatnot. That's going to lead you to nowhere. It leads you in circles. That's why your so-called black race ain't going nowhere. They bugged out of their mind, man, because they've been following the beast. They think like and act like the beast. That's why they're not going anywhere. That's why there is no fourth dimension for the black race. There is none. They have already been judged, and you will be judged with these people if you follow them. You will be judged right with them. They will keep you from that higher reception and that higher state. They will keep you from that because they have chosen to follow darkness. They have chosen to follow darkness. They're not of the bright. Many people out here, just because, like I said, they look like us and they got our same skin tone, they're not of the bright, man. A lot of these clones out here of the darkness, and you having children with clones and not projections. And the clones always show themselves over time, how they act, their behavior, their connection to emotional and unstable things. They always show you who they are over time. So you have to be mindful of that. Those who are of Amen, they're constantly focused on the bigger picture and the projection, right? And looking for those who are amongst the projection, right? Yeah, I know I hear a little static on the phone. I'm trying to fix that now. Can y'all still hear the static? Better? Okay, a little better. Yeah. Static is gone? Yeah, it was bothering me too. I might change phones the next time. But, yeah. But that's what the whole point of that is. The whole point of that is for you to fall off the path into a state of darkness, into a state of ignorance, back and forth between light and bright. I mean, light and dark, back and forth. That's the whole point. So that you never evolve. So that you never make it into that state of higher transmission. So that you're constantly going back and forth in this stage of nothingness. That's the whole point of it. So that there is no projection into the future. And the women, you got to fight the hardest to get into that projection. You got to fight the hardest. Why you got to fight the hardest? Because men are always coming at you and they're trying to appeal to your emotion. They try to appeal to your vanity. Men are always coming trying to appeal to your emotion and vanity and never to your logic. See, it's easy for a man to get a woman if he could appeal to her vanity and to her emotion. And when you get a man who appeals to that and you give in to a man who has touched you emotionally or touched you vanity-wise, then that's the one who's going to sink you into darkness. That's the one that's going to sink you into darkness. You see? That's the one that's going to sink you into darkness because he appealed to your lower nature, your lesser nature, that nature which is on the level of the two-dimensional with everybody else. He has not appealed to your logic and your rationale, your way of thinking, because he cannot. That's a sign of whether you got a black male or a bright man. That's the sign of whether you got a bright male or a black man, because a bright man is going to try to appeal to your logic and your rationale of why y'all should be together, that it makes sense. That's what he's going to appeal to. Not, oh, you know, your emotion and, oh, do you like me, or your vanity, you look good and all that. That ain't going to mean nothing. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a man telling you compliment you, telling you nice looking and whatnot, but that's not supposed to be it. That's not it. That's not it by a long shot. What it's supposed to always ultimately be is him telling you logically and rationally why y'all belong together. What do you hope to accomplish? What y'all two hope to accomplish together? What do y'all want to make together? What is your plans together? What do you want to project in the future? What type of children are you trying to make in the future? What is your focus? That's what you want ultimately. How can you grow together? How can you grow with your children? That's what you should want to know. That's the talk. You know, not nothing else. Everything else is not even worth talking about. You can get that from any nigga out here in the street who telling you how fine you is, how you want to get in your pants and all this other stuff. And you can get that from anybody. And this is why, like I said, some of these young girls end up pregnant out here with no direction, no nothing. This is exactly why. Nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of them. This is the reality. You should always be looking for the bigger picture and the projection of a man. You should always be looking for the bigger picture and the projection of a man. People keep on saying, and why do you think Honorable Elijah Muhammad had so many women with him? Why do you think so many women, young women, wanted to get with him? It wasn't because of the money and all this other stuff. It's all the money. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't the money. It was the man's vision. I keep saying it again. It was his vision and who he was. That's what it was. That man's vision and who he was. That's what attracted those women. They wanted to hitch their wagon to a star. A man who was a leader, a boss, someone who projected the highest. That's why he had the women he had. You see? People, low-grade niggas want to say, oh, it was because he was tricking money and this, that, and the third and blah, blah. That had nothing to do with it. I told you before, women love power. Women love power, as they should. Women love power. Women are attracted to power, as they should be. Because they see that same power generating their seed, generating their bloodline, generating their genetic material. That power is going to generate their genetic material, and it's going to regenerate stronger children. That's what's going to move them into the fourth dimension. Dr. Sabi, the same thing. All them young women was coming to Dr. Sabi asking him to give them baby. This man in his 80s. That just goes to show you, pretty women was coming to this man, his 60s and his 70s, and even to the day he died, women coming to him asking him to lay with him and make babies with him. You know why they did that? He old man. He was like, I don't want to do it. He had all them children. He's like, and he ended up making a baby with this young girl. The last one, I think she was in her 30s. He was 80 years old. You know why? Because again, like I said, they see the power in that man and to have a child with that man, how strong he is. You see, they see that. That's why they want. She didn't care about the age difference. That didn't matter to her. She wanted to raise a strong child. She wanted to say, you know what, I laid down with a strong man, an intelligent man, and I want to breed bright children. Because her whole mindset was, I want a child from this man. That was her mindset. She wanted to extend her genetic material, her gene. She was wise enough to say, you know what, I want to lay with somebody who's going to be strong. I want children that's going to be strong. I want that genetic, I want that gene pool. I want to be part of his gene pool. You see, you're going to have women doing that. They're going to be seeking out men who have a strong gene pool, strong mind, focused mind. They're going to be seeking out those kind of men. It's going to come to that in these last days. When I talked about men with multiple women, that's not going to really be the men doing that. It's going to be women doing that. Women are going to be chasing down men in these last days and be sharing men. It ain't going to be men pushing that. It's going to be women. Watch. It's going to be women being like, oh, we're going to have to share him. Watch. Y'all think I'm joking? Because they gonna look at all you when you looking at niggas like Dion Cole out here, this coon, Dion Coon, the comedian niggas out here wearing flare leg pants and all this other stuff. Really, when the white man shows you stuff like that, and Jaden Smith and all these type of niggas, he's basically letting you know that the black man done gave up his manhood. These so-called black men done gave up their manhood. They okay with being homosexuals now. They selling they manhood for money. This is what you're dealing with. They're a bunch of males out here. You're not going to want to mate with these people. And they're just a microcosm of a lot of these males, these black males that's out here. And the rest of these humans, they're not even men. They males too. So to preserve your seed, to preserve your bloodline, to make sure your bloodline go forward, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to get with him. We going to get with him. Let's get with him. Let's have babies with him. Y'all going to start doing that. The women are going to start demanding that to want to continue their bloodline. Watch. It ain't going to be the men. The men going to be like, damn. Well, they said in the Bible, in these last days, 7 women are going to take hold of one man. They didn't say a man going to make 7 women take hold of him. It said 7 women in the last days are going to take hold of one man. That's real. Because there ain't no men out here. There are no men out here. Because in order for you to be a man, you have to be in your right state of mind. You got to know what a man is in order to be a man. Having testicles and a penis and have muscles, that's not a man. That's a male with testicles and a penis. No direction, just out here. No plan, just out here. That's what you want to link with? Just to say you got a man of my very own, because I got a man of my own, and I ain't got to share my man with nobody. So so it's my man. But this nigga ain't talking about nothing. He ain't teaching you nothing. He a zero. He ain't got no plan for nothing. He a loser. But you could just so you could say that's my man. All right, well then you got your man then. You got a loser. You laying with a loser. You having babies with a loser. A nigga who can't get it right. Who got 50 million excuses why y'all still struggling. Why he can't take care of a goddamn thing. Why he always out looking for jobs instead of creating jobs. You understand that? He ain't cutting the mustard. But then by the time you figure out you about 2 or 3 children deep in with this nigga, and you done messed up your life, he's trying to hold you back till he get it together. Nah, man. Ain't no waiting to get it together. You either got it together now or you ain't got it at all. That's why I tell you, man, get your shit together. Excuse my language. Get it together before you even start thinking about a woman or being with somebody. Don't mess up your life and don't mess up their life. Because this is more than just, this is beyond just this 3-dimensional life. This is projection into the future, man. The seeds y'all going to bring forward can either bring you into the future or close you out. It's not a game, man. This ain't a game just to say, oh, I got my girl, it's my woman, and I got my girl. Nah, this is not a game, man. Certain males they don't need to be with a woman. You got to get yourself right as a man first before you even think about that. It's not a game, man. Just to say you got a girl because you getting some sex on the regular, you got your woman. Nah, man. No. We ain't playing that kind of game. You don't deserve no woman until you got your stuff together. None. We'll be right back. You know, you got certain people who were born and bred, right? They were born and bred to be, you know, with leaders. Certain people were born and bred to be with middle management. Certain people were born and bred to be with lower level people. In a day, 7 women will take hold of one man and say, we will eat our own food and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace. That's in the Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, right? And that's going to be happening today. Thank you, sister, for putting that up there. One of the sisters, Enros, put in there verse. In that day 7, women will take hold of one man and say, we will eat our own food, provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace. In these days, a few men will be left at that 7. A few men will be left at that 7 men. 7 women will fight each man, saying, let us marry you. We will provide our own food and our clothing. Only let us take your name, and we won't be mocked as old maids. In the new living a day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man. Yeah, it's going to come to that. It's going to come to that. And that's real. That's talking about in the past, the book of Isaiah, but that's going to happen today. Look at what you're seeing out here. The so-called black man is finished, man. Just forget him. He's done. He's not even, the white man, just mixing your seed with all these other races of men, that's done too. They're not real men. You understand? That's done. They're done. So if you're just going to be having, are you just going to go ahead and be a lesbian, right? Go ahead and be a lesbian. You ain't going to produce nothing from that. This is over with, man. Because most of these guys you're going to get one out here, they'll be nice guys, but they're not talking about nothing, man. They ain't talking about nothing. You understand? They got no direction, no nothing. Because in these last days and these next days to come, it's going to be about the men who can stand up, the men who have direction and vision to stand up in the future and be leaders of tomorrow. Be part of that group of men who are going to be leaders of tomorrow. Right? So, it says in the Old Testament, okay, but still again, even though it's in the Old Testament, it's going to still be the same thing going forward because that's happening right now. It's the book of Isaiah, which is in the Old Testament, but it's prevalent today. I know I always refer to it as being in the book of Revelation, my mistake, but like I said, the only reason it stick out to me because it's going to be prevalent today. I want everybody to tell me that y'all don't see that being a prevalent book. That right there being prevalent. That women are you're going to have 7 women take a hold of one man. A lot of things in the Old Testament are going to happen again. It's going to be prevalent. There's no men out here. It's certain things in the Bible that was prevalent back then, and it's going to be prevalent today. Certain things don't change. Certain things don't change. Certain situations just don't change. It's not going to be enough men here, right? Somebody had pointed that out to me that I made reference to it, even though it's in the Old Testament, right? But what's old becomes new again. What's old becomes new again. And then eventually it becomes next. That's all right. Like I said, it stuck out to me because you seeing it happening right here. It might as well be in the book of Revelation. You might as well. With this third world war that's coming, with the third world war that's coming, a lot of these so-called men are going to be taken out of here, man. The beast is going to decrease the population on them. He's going to do that. Right? So that book is very prevalent today. It's very prevalent. Right? Very prevalent. Certain things, like I said, that was being said in the old days is going to exist today. It's going to come around again. You know? You got women out here who don't have any children, nice-looking women who can't find a man. What does that tell you? And that's a lot of women like that. No children, so-called professionals who can't find a man. They can't find a man to save their life. Nice women and things like that can't find a man. Is that not true? You tell me. You got brothers out here who ain't got no baggage and stuff like that. They can't find a woman. And it's going to get even worse because now you got these people out here, they got all these so-called alternative lifestyles, men with men, women with women, women with interracial dating, men with interracial. So again, the genetic pool starts to cut down more and more. Men going to jail, men getting killed out here, women getting kidnapped out here. So the numbers cutting down. Decent people, and then if you are of the elect, that means that the bar has been raised higher. Because again, this is not even talking about the regular people. The regular people are going to be at the distress out here. We're talking about the elect, so you already know the bar is going to be raised higher. Because we ain't going to just be taking nobody just because, oh, you got a decent job and you halfway talking to me. The bar is being raised. So even with that, that's about the elect. When in the book of Isaiah, that's still about the elect going forward into the future. Because our dealings with people become shorter and shorter. We gonna be like, yo, you know what? We ain't trying to deal with the black race out here. We ain't having no babies with no black people. We damn sure ain't having no with no white people and no Asians and all these other people. We gonna be amongst ourselves as the bright race mixing in. So already just by that alone, our eligibility for who we dealing with has become smaller. So that might as well be talking about us. The so-called regular black people out here in the world can't find nobody. You see? They're going to be talking about doubling up and tripling up and sharing and getting into what they call polygamy, which is really polygamy, but they're going to be talking like that too soon. They're going to be these black women out here just going to be happy to have a man with a job or making a decent living. They're going to be happy with that. He ain't got to be talking about nothing. He ain't got to have no plan. Nigga, do you got a job? Do you got a penis? That's all the black women are going to be looking for nowadays. A job, a nigga with a job and a penis. That's it. But we don't raise the bar on a higher level. As the bright race, that substandard ain't working for us. The substandard ain't working for us. Because anybody can get somebody a substandard person. We want somebody who's a supreme thinker. Because you want to bring forward smarter children. The whole point of getting together is to bring forward smarter children, not to just be with somebody. Because, yeah, you could be with somebody out here. And the problem is, a lot of people still just think about themselves. Or I'm just thinking of being with somebody. No, it's bigger than you just being with somebody. There's children involved. You understand? You should always be thinking about the children that are going to come out there. Do I really want to have children with this person? Do I want to tie my genetics with this person's genetics and hope for a future outcome, a better outcome? You ain't thinking like that. You just thinking about, oh, I like him, he like me, we going out on dates together, we seeing each other. That's all you thinking about. Y'all, a lot of you so-called black women, you still got your mindset on dating, not mating. You ain't supposed to be dating, you supposed to be mating, man. I'm talking about mating to make children, quality children. Ain't no dating no more. The hell with some dating. That's the black female, all these females out here, they trying to date, meaning they just want to screw, and they want to go on some dates and screw. That's what they want to put. They want to dedicate a year, 2, 3 years of their life to that nonsense, getting in some fake relationship with somebody, just screwing and going out to movies and eating, aka dating. That's what they want to dedicate their life to. And then when they get tired of that person get tired of them, then they back out here and looking to date some more. Till they find the right one. Playing games, man. We ain't out here dating, we looking to mate, man. We mating, not dating. And we mating with the intelligent ones of our people, the bright ones of our people. We ain't just getting with anybody just to be getting with anybody. But see that, like I said, that's going through the heads of a lot. That goes through the heads of a lot of people, man. Because in this society, they telling you, oh, you know, get out here and play the field. Back in the old day when women got together, they was looking for a man to be the father of their children, man. They was looking for somebody to spend their life with. They wasn't just looking to date nobody. There was no such thing as dating. You was dating somebody. Dating was courting. Seeing somebody getting with a girl, that was courting. There was no going on no dates. You were courting that person. That means y'all was ready to hook up and have children. The fathers back in the day, they didn't play that. You wasn't taking their daughter on no date. Oh, you coming to the house, meeting the father, you whatnot. You sitting down for dinner. You letting them know what your intentions are, what you do for a living, this, that, and the third, because you are a potential suitor for his daughter. Meaning y'all gonna get married or merge together to have children. That was the point of that. Now, you date somebody, you screw somebody, be with somebody for 2-3 years. You sitting up here laying up in between some woman's legs, basically using up her vagina. You understand that? You using up her vagina for 3 or 4 years till you get tired and you want to move on. Or she want to move on, and he getting used up. You understand that? That's the mindset y'all got here. That's why everything is off. That's why everything is off here. That's why the people are off here. That's why the children are off. Because I told you a lot of these children are made, they're not going to make it into that part of the projection, man. They're not going to be part of the future projection, man. Because you didn't go into it making those children, thinking about them in no future. You were just thinking about yourself, man. That's all you thought about. You thought about yourself. You didn't go into it thinking about, oh, I want my children to be part of this future bloodline, this future prophecy, this future You wasn't thinking about that. All you was thinking about was, I want to get a boyfriend, I want to screw, I want to go on some dates and whatnot. That's played out, man. Them days is over with, man. Them days is over with. Those days are over with the so-called white man. Those days are over with. It's all about producing quality children to bring forth this future projection, man. So that the men and women can enter into it together, because we enter through our genetics, through our bloodline, through our children. That's how we enter in the fourth dimension. Not just us. We enter in as a family. There's no individual projection. We enter in as a collective, as a family. That is Amen. There's no, we're going to go and meet the Lord, Amen, and he's going to be on the sky. There's no God, Amen. We're entering as a family, as a collective body, through our ascendants. That's how we're entering the fourth dimension. We are in alignment with them. Please get that out your head. We're going to meet the Lord. And please get this God and devil nonsense out your head. It has nothing to do with Amen. This is the ascension of our bloodline, of our race, of our seed. The supremacy of our bloodline, the Amen race. That's what this is. We going forward through them. And the women are going forward through the men. So you better make sure the man you got is right mentally, or that's your ass. So let me go ahead and read these questions before we get out of here. Are men projectors of women in the fourth dimension? Yes, they are. Because it was your father that got you here, not your mother. Your mother just birthed you through carrying through her stomach. But again, your father got you here. And how you're going to leave here is through a man. You came through a man, and you're going to leave through a man. That's why you are men. You are womb men. You are men with wombs. You came through a man's sperm, and you're going to leave that way. Through his sperm that's going in you, where it's going to produce your children, your bloodline again, where you're going to be born again. So you better damn sure make sure you land with the right men. Why are they projectors? Because again, men represent the law. The law, there can be no future prophecy or future progeny or any projection without law first and foremost. Then comes the order. Just like that. Men are the law. Women are the order. The men have to be the law that's laid out first. In all societies, on all dimensions. Is this sexist to say? No, it's not. It is not sexist. It's roles that are played by men and women. Just like you women, you want strong men, though. You don't want to be stronger than your man, do you? You want your man to be stronger than you, yes or no? You want your man to be stronger than you. So if you want your man to be stronger than you, and goddamn it, there's a reason why you want him to be stronger than you. So that he could project greater than you and whatnot. He could pull you. Can women make it into the fourth dimension with no connection to men? To men? No. No. Even the women who don't have men in here who are part of the Republic, the older women, y'all coming through this Republic through me. You coming through me and the men here. We setting the law going forward in the fourth dimension. And y'all following our lead. And we all coming in together. We in the forefront. Y'all right behind us. We leading the way. We setting up the law and the order. We protecting y'all. We gonna protect them children, protect the women. We leading. We gotta be out in the forefront. Not y'all. We taking the fire if any fire come through the door. We protecting y'all. What does this mean in the future? Alignment. Alignment. And projection. And that's it. We're going to close out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. In Amen we trust, in Amen we think, and in Amen we continue forward forever. I am the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. This has been Mentellect Radio. I'll be back here tomorrow on the 1st to announce our next name that we're going to be taking on in the Republic of Mentellect. No more Mentellian. See y'all back here tomorrow. Good night.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, Amen, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do. We the Republic of Mentellect, rising out.